a recap of my last video. This is going to be a continuation of how I got into tarot, how I got into astrology. My last video was my part 4, which was about me kind of realizing that the relationship that I was in, my 7-year-long relationship, wasn't actually aligned with where I was going and where I was growing. And so I was coming to terms with that as I was trying to navigate this whole process, which was really painful and a lot to go through. But yeah, so realizing that we were growing at different rates, and we ended up breaking up, and then I moved into my own place. I found my own apartment, and I was just relearning how to get back on my feet. I had been in a relationship for 7 years. I'm a relationship girly. I've always been in relationships my entire life. This is like the first time where I was financially independent and stable enough to take care of myself and stand on my own 2 feet. So I was really determined to learn how to be more independent in those aspects, like literally learning how to be alone, learning how to go places alone, learning how to eat dinner alone and go shopping alone and go to the beach alone, like doing life alone, but not seeing it as a punishment, seeing it as a reward. Like, honestly, being financially independent and just independent in general is a reward. It is a luxury because you are just in your own energy, relying on yourself, and you don't have to rely on anybody else to make sure that everything's okay. You have you, and you know that everything's going to be okay. So that was a huge lesson that I learned during this time. That was also my healing home. I spent a lot of time in solitude, a lot of time, away from family and friends, because I needed to be in my own energy. I needed to figure out who I was and what I wanted. And the only way I was able to do that is if I sat with myself in my own energy for a long period of time. So that's what I was doing. And then as I was doing all of this, I took a trip to California for the first time. I was staying in the San Diego area, and I fell in love with it. Like, I am a traveler. I have the travel bug. I always go to different places, but always at the end of the trip, I'm like, all right, ready to like F off home. Like, it was fun, but ready to go home. When I was in San Diego, I literally didn't want to go home. And I was like, this kind of is like home. Like, I looked around and I was like, I could definitely see myself living here. So I sat and stewed on it naturally for 8 months straight, because that is what I do. I do have a Capricorn stellium in my chart. Like, I am trying to be logical and practical about things, and I don't want to fly off the handle and make a decision that I'm going to regret. But I also want to take a risk and a chance on myself. With great risk comes great reward. So I knew that taking this big leap of faith would align me with the path for my highest self. Like, I knew I couldn't get the thought of living in California, San Diego to be specifically. I knew I couldn't get that thought out of my head for a specific reason, and it meant something, and I was meant to follow it. So I had this stewing, and I obviously am trying to share with my family and friends, like, this is where my head is at. This is what I'm trying to cultivate for myself. This is a new life that I'm stepping into. And pretty much everyone was against it. Nobody wanted me to move out here. Everyone was like, what are you doing? You're going out there alone. Like, why are you, like, why are you doing this? Like, da. What about your job? Like, what about all this, right? And I'm like, I don't have a practical or logical explanation. I just know I have to go. And so at this point, I'm going against all of my family, all of my friends. Everyone's putting fear into me, saying, what if this happens? What if that happens? Why are you going? Like, blah, blah, blah. You're going to be there alone. Like, blah, blah. Okay, it's like doomsday. And for me, I'm excited. Like, I feel like I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing. So I'm saying it in this way because when you start to do things that are outside of the norm, when you start to pave your own path, when you start to go against the grain and you're not listening to your family or friends that are telling you to do a certain thing, when you go against that, it creates this tension, and it creates this like, oh, I don't care about their opinion, or like, I don't want to listen to them. And it's not about that. It's literally about the fact that this is my life and I'm the one who has to live it. So I get to make the executive decisions on what I'm doing. And I no longer have to live for other people, my family or my friends. I'm living for myself, and I'm living in my purpose. And I know that this is right for me. So if there is something where you want to chase a dream, or you want to go somewhere, you're feeling called to do something, do that, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Don't let people project onto you all of their fears. It's because they wouldn't do it themselves. They're telling you all the negative X, Y's, and Z's because that's what they would tell themselves to keep themselves in a box. They're afraid, and they're just projecting that fear onto you because that's what they know. They're operating on programs that they know. So you can't really hold it against them, and obviously I don't, and I just do what I need to do and move forward. But you have to be so strong in that, because it's like, okay, and I go off and do this, and what if I do fall flat on my face? You know what? So what? So what if I fall flat? Let me fall flat on my face. And you know what? This will be a really good place to do it. I'm right by the beach. So this is going to be a learning curve. This is going to be, it's going to help you grow, whatever it is that you're taking a chance. And if you're taking a chance on yourself, you will be rewarded by the universe. Like, if you are living in your purpose and living on your path, you will be receiving the little gratification from and validation from the universe through people, places, opportunities, and things that are just attracted to you because you're at the right place at the right time because you followed your intuition, you know? I made it all the way here. I did the whole moving. I paid for everything myself. I set up the whole move myself, got myself from Chicago all the way to San Diego, and I've been here for 6 months, and I'm living my best life. I am living my absolute best life. I have seen so much growth in my personal life, in my business, in just the way that I've been able to elevate and change my life, and the opportunities that I've received by just existing here, by just, again, being at the right place at the right time. And I have never felt so aligned with my purpose, with who I truly am. Like, I feel like I'm living a life that's authentic to me. I don't feel like I'm just getting up in the morning and doing the things that I just have to do because I just have to be responsible and I just have to live for other people. Like, I'm finally living for myself, and I am so happy. And I thought I was living my best life in Chicago, which I was, but I am living a completely other life here in San Diego, and I'm continuing to cultivate and grow a community here and grow my business and grow myself, and it's honestly a really beautiful thing. So again, I cannot stress this enough. If you have an idea or a dream or something that you're pursuing and people are instilling fear in you and people are projecting and trying to get in your way, do not listen to it, because you're just going to be stuck in the same loops that they're in. And like, another thing too is don't take advice from anybody who's not doing as good as you. Like, don't take advice from anybody who's not doing better than you. I mean, that's just like a given. And so like, you can apply that to your family. Unfortunately, you have to, because it is what it is. That's the facts on paper. Why would I listen to somebody who I don't want to be them? I don't want their life. And if I don't want their life, then why would I take their advice? I'm running out of time here, but I moved out to California and I followed my intuition and I did a lot of healing work. To be able to follow my intuition, I had to do all of the healing work. I had to do the shadow work, the journaling, the meditating, being in my own energy to feel confident in making these big life choices for myself. And now I do. So anyways, that's the end of my little backstory. I hope this gives more clarity onto like who I am and how I got here and how I'm trying to lead my life moving forward. So anyways, I love this.